Assessment in Early Childhood Education by Belinda Salcedo. Hello parents, I'm designing this video with the purpose of helping you understand the standardized assessment and how it works. Our children face testing and assessment every year during the school year. But what as a parent do we need to know or must know? How can we help as a parent? How can we participate in our children's learning? Let's start by understanding what an assessment is. What is an assessment? An assessment is the process of gathering information about the child for the purpose of conducting and evaluating the overall developmental learning of the child and to help find ways to improve that learning. There are many types of assessments. Observation is a type of assessment used to study and evaluate child's behavior. The teacher watches the child for evidence of the designated behavior. A checklist assessment is a sequence or hierarchy of concepts and or skills organized in a format that can be used to plan instruction and to keep record. Rating scale assessment. A scale using categories that allows the observer to indicate the degree of a characteristic that the person or the child has. Rubrics, an instrument development to measure authentic and performance assessment that is given to determine quantitative characteristics on a scale. Teacher designs assessment. It measures the teacher to assess one or more subject of the developmental area. Other type of assessment is the portfolio assessment used to develop holistic pictures of activities that the student has engaged in over a period of time. Includes many examples of students' work, multiple concepts, skills, and projects. But it also helps to evaluate the teacher and allows the student the opportunity to provide feedback to the teacher. Teachers can assess the children using an informal or formal assessment. Informal assessment is the use of observation, learning, and task, and other naturally event to gather information about the child. Formal assessment is a test that has been standardized to measure development progress or any achievements. They evaluate children when they first enter the school year, their abilities and knowledge or skills on a particular areas where they are assessed. Achievement to has acquired certain information or has mastered identified skills. The aptitude to learn, to develop proficiency in some areas, and it also helps finding any delays in the developmental learning. Teacher collects all that information and makes a record and records it to create a plan and to organize the assessment to be conducted on the child or the children as a group. Standardized assessment has three parts to it. The standardized assessment is the process of gathering all the information about the child. The first part is the pre-assessment, which is conducted at the beginning of the year, right when the child enters the school. The second is the ongoing assessment based on observations conducted throughout the school year. This is where teacher and parent meet for conference, and then they talk about the progress made from the beginning of the year and up to the middle of the year. And then there's also the third end of the school year conference where they meet again with parents, and then they go over the overall learning of the child throughout the whole year. They also get to choose, they talk about goals Actually, on the second observation, and that's where they get to talk about new goals for the child, what the child has mastered, what the child has worked on, any concerns from both sides, parents or teachers, and then and if they need help on any areas uh, that the mom wants the child to work on, or the teacher has some certain areas that the child needs to work on at home. This is being talked about during the conference. And like I said, the third, that'll be conducted on the second, on the ongoing assessment. And so hopefully by the end of the year, all these goals are met and accomplished. If not, teacher talks to the parent and then they move on to the next year, hoping to get it mastered during the summer and hoping to bring the child in the following year already master those goals. The assessments can be conducted by the teacher, administered by a professional in an education, or by other educator personnel who is certified to do so. Some required certification is needed at times. How can we help as a parent? How can we help as a parent? It's a good question to ask. We can ask the teacher, what is the child being assessed on? What type of test is the child going to be assessed on? What type of basically assessment? We can talk to the children about the test ahead of time, get the child prepared ahead of time. If you know that the child is going to be having a math test, maybe do some study or work on areas you think the child needs help on. Create some notes for the child. Sending out the child to sleep early to be well rested for the next day. Making sure they have something to eat before the assessment. Or you can also send some snacks for all the children in the class, for your child and for other children in the classroom. And like I said, making sure that the child rests well overnight to be ready for the next day assessment. How can we participate in our children's learning? Well, we can have an open communication with the teacher either by mail, email, phone call, text, notes. We can also conduct home visits, schedule some home visits for us, the teachers, to come into your home if that's something that would help. I don't know, I found that some parents, it's for them, it's better for it to be like on one-on-one visitation, as I've done home visits before. I feel they have more confidence than when they are in a whole group area. Also, during the conference, participate on your child's conferences every time there's one scheduled by the district. Build a strong relationship between the child, the parent, and the teacher. Build the trust is one of the best ways to build a keystone for professional partnership. Commitment, being accessible and sensitive to the needs of the families. Forming alliances based on identifying needs and taking action to address them. This basically, whenever the teacher needs your help, try to be helpful and be there to assist. A mid-year ongoing assessment. So the school district or wherever area school program you worked on, they usually schedule the parent-teacher conference. This teacher-parent conference I've seen, and I've worked in centers, I worked in school in the past, I worked in family. Right now I'm working in a family child caretaker, and I still conduct some type of parent-teacher conference to talk about the child's progress, talk about the child's progress, the grades, work areas to work on, choose new goals, and share some of the portfolios information on the child, any type of work that they have done during the school year. How does the teacher or professional gathers all their information? I mentioned before that they can use the checklist I mentioned, the portfolios I mentioned, and this one reports testings, but again, photos and videos, diaries, checklists, reports, and testings on specific areas to gather information about the child's development and or learning. And at the end of the school year, parent, teacher, and the child meet before the school year ends, and they go over the child's assessment. How did the testing go during the year for the child? Any progress from the beginning to the end? What areas to work on during the summertime to be ready for the next year? And teacher may send home all projects, reports, child's work, any other additional information that the parent may need for the following year. So this is just a little bit of how I wish I had more time to add more stuff, but this is just a little bit of how the children are being assessed during the school year and some ways that we as a parent, we can help the teacher to succeed with our children. Thank you.